Have you ever found yourself puzzled by Kotlin's behavior when using lambdas with interfaces? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common question. Why can't I use a lambda for an interface in Kotlin? I totally get it. It can be really frustrating when you think you have a solution, only to be met with errors. You're not the only one facing this issue, and it's a common stumbling block for many developers. Let's set the stage. One user recently asked, why can't I use a lambda for a Kotlin interface? They provided a Java class and a Kotlin interface, and they were confused about the errors they encountered. Sound familiar? Let's break it down. So, what's happening here? In Kotlin, lambdas can only be used with functional interfaces, which are interfaces with a single abstract method. However, Kotlin interfaces are a bit different from Java interfaces, and that's where the confusion arises. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this happens, but also how to work around it effectively. To understand why the user cannot use a lambda expression with a Kotlin interface, we need to look at how Kotlin handles interfaces compared to Java. In Kotlin, interfaces cannot be instantiated directly, which is why the user sees an error when trying to use a lambda. When the user tries to call Java receive single.useSingle with a lambda, the IDE shows an error because it expects an instance of the single interface, not a function type. This is a fundamental difference in how Kotlin treats functional interfaces. In contrast, the user can successfully use an anonymous object to implement the single interface. This is because the object provides a concrete implementation of the interface, which is what the method requires. To summarize, the user cannot use a lambda for a Kotlin interface because Kotlin requires a concrete implementation of the interface. Lambdas can only be used with functional interfaces that have a single abstract method. Fun fact, Kotlin was designed to be fully interoperable with Java, but it also introduces its own unique features and quirks. This is one of those quirks that can trip up even seasoned developers. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user explains that SAM conversion is not supported for Kotlin interfaces. They suggest using functional types instead of single method interfaces. If you want to give them a name, you can use type aliases, but they advise against overusing them. Often, a functional type with clear method and variable names is sufficient. Here's a quick tip. Always check if your interface is a functional interface before trying to use a lambda. This can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. Now you understand why you can't use a lambda for a Kotlin interface and how to work around it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks.